2019 has been a great year for everybody, but more importantly, it's been a great year for cabaret dancing in the professional division and the Pro-Am division. And I am here now for the 2019 USDC with Jake, Mazhar and Yuliya Besarab, perhaps one of the best known Pro-Am couples in cabaret dancing. And Jake known for his incredible fitness, Yuliya known for her incredible style and grace in all of her movements. Guys, how was it tonight?
It was good.
That was very modest introduction.
Thank you.
Now, Jake, just in talking to you over the years and over the months, you have set some great goals for yourself. You really have. You've set goals for yourself in business. You've set goals for yourself in your personal fitness. I mean, in a world where people would be happy to be 24% body fat, your goal was 4% body fat.
Yes.
What drives that motivation?
It's just my own discipline and self-esteem that I want to. I set goals and I drive towards it. And for a specific thing, I was going to do the performance at Arnold's Classic for Arnold Schwarzenegger, 10,000 audience with Yuliya. So we wanted to make sure I look the part. I'm doing the Terminator, so I want to do a good job, not only dancing but also looking good.
He was trying to look better than me. That's why it's really a competition between us.
and really, I mean, you're so lithe in your body, so athletic, and so graceful in your movements. And Jake is so powerful. Do you ever find that there's a contrast in that? Does that ever overpower you, or do you ever find that you need to take a break from it, or anything like that?
I don't think a contrast. Just to be a good dancer, you need to have all the skills. So the fact that he's strong, of course, is a good thing. But we're trying to develop other parts that, gonna complement his dancing better. But I don't find an issue dancing together, no.
And can you tell me, if you can, you may not be able to tell me, or maybe you don't want to share, but the audience really wants to know, what's the secret of that connection, that confidence that both of you seem to show on the dance floor? Where does that come from?
I don't have a formula for that. It's you either have a connection or not.
Well, I think we were able to build a trust between each other, so that's the big factor. She trusts me a lot, and I appreciate that, because I know I would never allow something happen to her. So the trust is the biggest factor in the success.
Yeah, but as far as personalities, I think we just found each other.
We click, yeah.
But the personality is pretty dynamic. I mean, I've seen you have some really intense moments on the floor. How do you deal with that kind of intensity?
Yeah, we go from super happy to super upset with each other, but
very seldom super upset, mostly super happy.
It's better now, yes.
Okay, so has he ever come up with an idea? Terminator,
yes.
Batman.
Yes.
Some of this beautiful performance that you did tonight. Has you ever come up with an idea that you thought you might not be able to do? Has you ever come up with anything that seemed like impossible?
As a Ukrainian, I always say no to things first.
You say no first. Right? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yes. But in general, his ideas were pretty interesting, so I was quite open-minded. Sometimes I have to say no, because I also see what kind of things he can pull up and what is better for him as an idea, So just in that case, sometimes we disagree.
And typically, with a bodybuilder type,
yes,
developing grace is always the bodybuilder's challenge. That's making the movement beautiful and at the same time showcasing your strength. Do you have a secret for finding that?
Well, I used to, Yuliya. The secret formula, Yuliya. But also, I did mixed martial arts in the past, and I'm an ex-wrestler.
He's actually flexible, for being as strong as he is, he's flexible.
Right.
So that helped being a wrestler. And I used to have a split, because the part of doing martial arts, you have to have a split. It took me 6 months to get it. I don't have that anymore. But dancing also makes you flexible.
And so in wrestling, it's all about timing, because wrestling is part performance, part athleticism, part fighting. So there's a lot of that, and then you bring mixed martial arts into it. Yes. Do you find that those work together? Is there any time that you dip into that?
Some of it helps, because the flexibility, the strength. When you're wrestling, you lifting your opponent that who's strong and as much as you weigh, that helps. But also this is a different technique. In wrestling or martial arts, you make yourself smaller, so you make yourself compact so you don't get hit. In ballroom dancing, you have to make yourself bigger, so there's a big difference.
Right.
And because it's totally different technique. So I'm learning the ballroom dancing.
I see. I see. Now, do you have a way of keeping yourself grounded? Do you have a way of keeping yourself like sort of centered, whether it's spiritually or intellectually? Do you have a way of like sort of getting back in touch with yourself on the dance floor?
I think so. That's mainly it's Yuliya.
Again,
Blame it on me. Yes, it's all me. So if he's not there, it's me.
Yeah, she helps me with all of that.
Yes.
and now, and being from the Ukraine, a lot of these ideas and a lot of the things that it come up with, and of course you're also from Europe, these things are very, very Western. Do you find that culturally, like going back to your family in the Ukraine and so forth, do you find that culturally there's ever any lack of understanding or anything where they...
I don't think so. What do you mean by Western?
Very, very American, very typically American, like Batman and the Terminator and so forth.
I mean, you know, I grew up, it's not Soviet Union anymore. We were exposed to all of the movies and the music and
Gotcha.
everything, you know, and being in dancing from like being 6 years old, you're exposed to everything. So I don't think so. You know,
Yeah,
I'm aware of all the characters that we try to come up with and all of the choices that we make. I know what we're doing.
Yes.
Gotcha,
Yeah, she's very receptive most times. Sometimes we're gonna be doing the Spartan, as you know, the 300s.
Right.
And so
Another one of those like really
that's
strong
right.
ideas.
Yes, yes, and we feel we can pull it off. A beauty like her.
Okay, now
it's
last
gonna be
question.
easier. Yes,
Cabaret, obviously very, very difficult.
yes.
And not only that, there's a danger element. There's a danger element from both sides. Jake, your joints are working hard. You're lifting a woman. You're in a dynamic situation. So it's all of the power and all of the strength. Yuliya, you're in the air. There's always the risk of falling. If you were going to give advice to somebody going into Cabaret, the new dancer going into Cabaret, what would you tell them?
And you amateur dancer?
Either one, amateur, professional, either one. Because it's so different from a girl's point of view, from a man's point of view. What would you tell that person that says, I want to go into cabaret dancing, this high-risk sport?
If you're asking me, I would recommend safety first. So work with professionals that they can guide you
Absolutely.
for safety of the girl. Do not take risk. Have a mat and safety precautions.
And body conditioning, you know, you definitely have to be in a certain shape for this kind of style.
Right,
you know?
right, which you've definitely
Not just
done.
for the guy, but for the girl as well, because, you know, I don't know what people see, but it's actually a lot on the girl. Because if you move a little bit, it reflects on the guy immediately. So
Exactly.
you definitely have to be aware, not just be in shape physically, but also be aware of your body actions.
And if those people get frustrated with cabaret dancing or with their dancing, how would you help them to keep going?
It's a challenging question because they have to sacrifice a lot.
Yes.
Work hard a lot, both of them. Get lots of coaching and do not give up.
Yeah, I think in any kind of, if you want to do something really well, you know, there's a lot of sacrifices coming with it. So getting frustrated is a typical thing. You know, the only people
True.
who last there long and get where they want to be is the people that never give up, you know, and keep
True.
pushing
Well-
regardless.
Well, you've made it. You've definitely made it in this country, and you definitely made it in business, in dancing, and a major mark in the performance world. So I hope that in the future you keep making that mark and keep coming up with great new ideas, not just 300, but even beyond.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Congratulations on great
Thank you.
results.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Good job, guys.
Okay, so I get to